Guys, it's Neil the Barbarian Dad, continuing our hunting series, deer hunting series. Okay, so today we're going to talk about rattle bags, rattle horns, bleat calls, not the grunt call. We've already done a grunt call video. I want to talk a little bit, really quickly, about my successes and failures with various calls, okay? So we've talked already about deer reactions. We've talked already about the grunt call. I did show my little rattle bag there a little bit on how I've used it in conjunction. But I really want to talk about what I think will work. And now when I'm talking about deer, talking about whitetail, I haven't done any mule deer hunting. But this is specifically for whitetail. And I really want you to have an idea of what calls will be successful for you when you're out there in the woods, because your time is valuable, right? And I've tried this stuff for years, and I can tell you my success rates, okay? Rattle bag alone, I have brought in one deer, okay? I made this out of a sock and some wooden dowels from like Lowe's or Home Depot that I cut up. I've had this for 15 years maybe. I brought in one deer with this thing, and I used the crap out of it. I've seen there are rattle bags out there that are plastic. There are rattle bags out there that are super nice, and there are actual horns that come together that are plastic, and they'll, that you can lock in together if you feel like carrying one of those things. There, you can use real horns if you want. You can kill you a buck or buy some horns offline, and plastic ones get a little bit better, and the wood ones get a little bit better crash, and so it sounds a little bit better like a deer. But I personally have not had great success with this. You can do your initial smack, and that would simulate deer coming together and having a battle, right, where they're locked, and then you would have them fighting, right? So their horns are locked, and they're kind of doing their thing. They might come apart and smack again. I might kind of do that thing. I've seen deer fight like once in real life, and so that was cool. But it's kind of a weird thing to see. It's kind of like a schoolyard fight. The thought is, maybe we're going to bring in some does, some little bucks, other bucks that want to see what's going on. Who are these deer fighting? Cool. Like I said, brought in a 4-point once, so that was kind of cool to watch it run behind me and kind of run around. It's the only deer I saw that day. So that was neat. So it's worked for me before. So I'm not going to discount this. All I'm going to say is the return for the effort on this thing has been pretty low for me. Now, again, I may not have figured out the secret. I've told you in my other video, I figured out the secret to talking to deer with the wheeze or the blowing and with the chasing grunt call, okay? I brought in many deer with those, or stopped deer, or from running away, or brought them back with those. That works. Just haven't figured this one out yet. So for me, I'm going to say that this is not a super useful tool in the woods. It may bring you luck. Maybe you figured out the exact sequence and the exact timing of the year, and if so, put that stuff down in the comments. Educate me, okay? But that stays in my gear bag and doesn't come out anymore. The bleat can, and as I've said before, I like Primo's stuff, okay? I've got Primo's turkey calls, Primo's deer calls, Primo's duck calls, even though I suck at duck calling, so nobody invites me duck calling and duck hunting, and it's expensive, right? So I don't spend a whole lot of time on the water anymore. I used to have all the decoys and stuff, but the juice for the squeeze and the time. In my area, it's whitetail and then some turkey hunting when I get a chance. But I've had this for a long time, and I remember bringing up a 4-point with this. He had 3 on one side and a massive cow horn on the other. I've got his horns downstairs that I brought in with this. I've also brought in a couple of other little deer bucks with this, a doe here and there. All said and told, under 6 or 7 deer, okay? I haven't carried this in the woods in years. Again, it works. It sounds like this. You got a little hole in the bottom of it that you can see, and it's got some other holes up top, but this one is to hold the air. So like when you're walking around, it doesn't make that noise, or it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be quiet carry, right? So when you're walking, it's in your pocket, no big deal. It's upside down. It'll rattle a little bit, but no big deal. But the idea is you take it, you close that hole in the bottom. Okay, so you let it fall, close the hole at the bottom. It's been a long time since I've used it, right? So you take it, and that's supposed to be a bleat. It's the estrus bleat. So that's saying, hey, I'm a doe and I'm in heat. Come get me. It works. Some. I've never brought in a big buck with this. Never like my chasing grunt like I did on my other video. I haven't carried it in the woods in a while. I think this is a good conjunction thing. So if I do carry this in the woods this year or again, I would definitely like do this before I use my chasing grunt, just to put the more deery feeling, like there's more deer around me than to the other deer, right? But by itself, I would say this is not a useless tool, but it's not as powerful as your grunt call can be. But it is a tool to have, and I would use it more as like not quite a Hail Mary, but pretty damn close. Like rattle bag for me would be like Hail Mary. This is somewhere in between that, but again, not a bad tool. I've heard, God, how many estrus bleats have I heard in my life? None. Exactly none. In all my years of hunting, and as I've said, I've been hunting since I was 12, so 24 years. Never heard one. Not to say that hunters that have been out there more haven't, and that they haven't heard this, but I don't hear this at all, much less consistently, and it doesn't bring in the deer like I would like. Again, maybe I've used this at the inappropriate time of day or season. I've used it throughout the entire season, from the start of bow season to the end of hunting season in my area. But maybe there's something in there. Okay, so it's worked for me before. It's not a piece of equipment that I would shy away from. Again, at the time of this video, Primos does not sponsor me, nor do I have a relationship, or whatever they are. I just like the Primos family from everything that I've, in their calls. I've used them for years. They're affordable and they work. Where they work, right? So like turkey calls and my grunt calls and everything, they've held up for years. They do a good job. So I would certainly steer you in their direction. That doesn't mean that there are not other fantastic calls out there or whatever, but just Primos has been quality for the money for me. So, all right, so that's the calls that I use other than my grunt call or, simulating calls, with my mouth. And that's that for deer hunting, man. So I hope this has helped you, maybe saved you a little bit of time and money. I'm not discouraging you from going out into the woods, because there's always a learning session, right? I'm going to learn about the deer until I die. But I definitely say I'm further along than a lot of hunters that I know. In fact, every hunter that I know, I'm not saying that they haven't shot bigger deer or whatever, but I see more deer than everybody that I know because of my grunt calling and because I understand how deer operate. Okay? So use this, keep this in mind. Try it if you want to, but I would definitely suggest going after those grunt calls first. Hope it's been helpful. Again, check me out on Float. Really love that platform. They're really making some good efforts. You can find me there. You can find me on Instagram, and I'll post crap up on there because it's easy. And as soon as Float gets an app and makes my life easy where I can do that, I will move my postings mostly to Float. I'm still on MeWe, so you can find me there as well. But I'm off the Facebook. I'm not on Twitter. So let's go to platforms that like us, right? So I'm also on Odyssey. but I'm, got to work on getting my video quality up there because they don't like the high quality video that YouTube takes. So for now, we're on YouTube. So unless I get booted, that's where we're going to be. Hopefully this is helpful to you. So support me where you can, with the likes, the subscribes, and the shares and all that other bullcrap, because, I need it. So anyway, appreciate you. Hope this helps. Stay uncivilized.